This is 6 Minutes, the Seriously International Daily Newscast. It's Wednesday, February 26th. I'm Rebecca Bonthius.
And I'm Bertrand. It's late afternoon in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, while it's late morning in Nuuk, Greenland. In Lagos, Nigeria, like here in the World Crunch newsroom in Paris, it's just after midday. These are the latest headlines. Ukraine has agreed to a minerals deal with the US. Mediators have reportedly resolved the impasse on the Gaza ceasefire deal, and our daily quiz question comes to us from outer space. Our top story today is a minerals agreement between Ukraine and the US. Reports say Washington dropped initial demands for a right to $500 billion in potential revenue from using the natural resources. The US has not given firm security guarantees to war-torn Ukraine, though, a key Ukrainian demand. US President Donald Trump said he was expecting his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky in Washington to sign the deal on Friday.
Mediators say an impasse in the Gaza ceasefire deal has been resolved. Israel had delayed the release of 600 Palestinian prisoners on Saturday in protest at what it said was the cruel treatment of Israeli hostages being handed over by Hamas. But it's now expected that Israel will free the prisoners as well as another group at a later date in exchange for Hamas's return of the bodies of 4 hostages. Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives narrowly passed a multi-trillion-dollar government spending bill on Tuesday, a major boost for President Trump's 2025 agenda. The House budget makes $2 trillion in spending cuts over the next 10 years to pay for an agenda that includes more than $100 billion in new spending on immigration enforcement and the military.
BP is set to slash green investment and ramp up gas and oil production. The London-based energy giant will outline its strategy later, following pressure from some investors unhappy its profits and share price have been much lower than its rivals. Shell, also based in London, and Norwegian company Equinor have already scaled back their plans to invest in green energy. Now, let's take a closer look at what the international press is covering.
Chilean daily El Austral headlined "Substation Failure Leaves 19 Million Without Power," following a widespread outage on Tuesday that plunged the capital city of Santiago into darkness. The outage, which the Interior Minister attributed to a transmission line failure, affected most of the country, but as of this morning, operators say 90% of the grid is back online.
The Taipei Times is covering a statement by Taiwan's Defense Ministry, which said that it had detected 32 Chinese military aircraft carrying out a joint combat readiness drill with Chinese warships in the Taiwan Strait area. Democratically governed Taiwan, which China views as its own territory, has repeatedly complained of Chinese military activities, including several rounds of full-scale war games during the past 3 years.
We have a piece from Colombian daily El Espectador on the origins of USAID and what it means now that President Trump has axed the organization. Bertrand, what is this piece about?
Ronaldo Spitaleta writes that the history of USAID is an imperial one, and just because the agency is set to disappear doesn't mean that the imperialism behind it will. Founded in the 1960s by President John F. Kennedy, USAID was said to be for international development. But the open secret was that it helped the US shape certain aspects of policy in countries that where it might turn to communism during the Cold War. And while Donald Trump might have effectively dissolved the agency, his talk of buying Greenland or Canada and turning Gaza into the Riviera of the Middle East shows that American imperialism will not likely die with USAID.
We have a piece from French public radio station France Inter on the meeting earlier this week between French President Emmanuel Macron and Donald Trump. Pierre Esqui writes that the meeting did little to clear up the American position on Ukraine right now, despite the European effort to get Trump to show his cards. Now it's up to Ukraine to make the best of what seems to be a bad situation.
And from Egyptian news outlet Al Manassa, we have a piece on a community soccer tournament that is held each year during Ramadan. The piece argues that soccer in Egypt has become highly pretentious and corporatized, and that tournaments like these are a return to the roots of the sport on the streets, as enjoyed by the masses.
We're closing things out today with our daily quiz question, which comes to us from the Final Frontier. In a rare sight that won't happen again until 2040, Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, Venus, Neptune, Mercury, and Saturn will all be visible together this week. What has this event been called? Is it A. Planetary Parade, B. Celestial Caravan, C. Stellar Spectacle, or D. Cosmic Convoy? The correct answer is A. This week, 7 planets will all be briefly visible in the evening sky. This phenomenon, known as a planetary parade, is a rare sight, and it will be the last time the planets can be seen simultaneously so well until 2040.
That's the latest from around the world. If you like this podcast, we'd appreciate it if you could help us out with a follow, share, and a 5-star rating on your preferred podcasting platform. For more of the best of the international press, delivered exclusively in English, visit us at walkers.com. We'll see you here tomorrow. Auf Wiedersehen!